Hello, 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 hello to all my beautiful loved ones, all my beautiful brothers and sisters all over the world. How are you today? This is your boy, the writer, G.A. Wilson, coming live and direct for Love Fact. And you know me, I always like to what? Go in, baby, all the time. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? How are you today? I have something on my heart to talk to you guys about this book from Carl Weber. Can you see it? Okay. Called the Family Business. This is also with Eric Pete. I don't know many of you know who Eric Pete, but Eric Pete is a novelist who has been in the game for many years. I actually had listened to an audiobook from him. I can't really remember the name of the audiobook, but I could say it was a really interesting book I had read from Eric Pete. And I was very surprised that he would hook up with Carl Weber with this book called The Family Business. You know, for me, since I've been reading books and also been writing myself, it's hard to find real writers who really write from the heart these days. You know that sometimes I go to these stores, looking for the books to read, or who I think that I think who's shining, or who I think is really gonna tell a story. And I say to myself, it's a really lot of fake people out there. When I say fake, well, meaning they doing it for the wrong reasons. I cannot read a book now from page one until the end no more, because now it just seems like they're not talking about nothing that touch me. That don't touch me at all. I could just name a few people that I could just like pick up the book and just read it, and just like two or three names that I can name now. And that's really a shame to me, because it's supposed to be several people that you can pick up their book and just read it. I mean, you can go in and just all day and night just read it, or when you have the time, have just have time to read a book whenever you have time to read it, and just go in and they're like, oh man, that was an awesome book. I don't want to put the book down. It just I don't know what people are writing about these days. It's not touching me like it used to, and I have to backtrack and go back to people that influenced me to write, influenced me to be a writer. And I don't have a problem with that, because I don't know what's going on now, because the new generation of writing, I'm not feeling it. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Um, they're getting these people that are editors and executors to look over their writing, and it's, I don't know, it's not for the people who pick up the book and read the book, because some of these words, you don't know what the fuck they the meaning of it. So I don't know who they trying to approve. So, but anyway, I got a few notes here that I write down, because if you know me, I'm actually not a person to be like in front of the camera. I'm actually the person that do my recording from audio. So if you know me, you know that I mostly do majority of my recording from audio, but I don't have that type of time to be doing that these days. Now I'm so much trying to get myself together with my writing business. Um, with this book from Carl Weber with Eric Pete, The Family Business. Um, I picked it up from the library, and I don't too much like to buy books, like I was saying, because it's not a chance that I'm going to finish the book. because I don't know what these motherfuckers are talking about these days. I don't know what the fuck. Um, so I go to my public library to pick up books, and if I don't like the shit, I return it, and I wouldn't give a fuck about it. But Carl Weber, the book, The Family Business, I would say once I started reading chapter one, I said, "Oh, this is some very good writing." I said, "Wow, I'm so glad he had hooked up with Eric Pete because this, these words, it's easily I can easily read it. Um, you know, what about how they written the book? It's not these long chapters. It's like these short chapters you could turn very easily in how they end the chapters and make you want to turn the book and like, oh, what's next?" And what's so interesting about Carl Weber is he liked to write in the first person. What I meant to say, he liked to write in the first person. Me, I'm much more like a third person. A third person much more like a person that's a storyteller. But when you're a first person, you putting yourself in your shoes in that person's position. So Carl Weber is very good writing in first person. And the only thing about Carl Weber, he has several different characters telling the story. And I give him credit for that. I give his ass dap for that because he does a very good job telling a story. Seven different characters from many different angles. Um, I can tell you about the book. It's something that uh, I haven't heard of. I haven't thought of someone would write something about a family doing a family business selling cars. I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was so fresh and so crisp and so new to me. I said, wow, I never heard anybody would write something like that. So I give Carl credit for that. He did a good job coming up, brainstorming on something very new that I haven't heard and many people are talking about. Well, it's not on the mainstream, not on the bookshelves. Um, so I was like, wow, this is some good writing. I was so happy that he hooked up with Eric Pete because I think he need to continue doing collaboration with Eric Pete. I said, wow, this is easy writing. I could read it with no problem. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't finish the book because Carl Weber and Eric Pete, I don't know what the fuck they was talking about in the middle of the book because it started clean. I'm telling you, it started very good. Because I'm gonna tell you a little piece of the story if you don't know what's going on. Okay, um, the mother called it the Duncan family. Mr. Duncan and Mrs. Duncan um, are, I guess, like in their in their older stage where they feel like they don't want to work so hard, and they figure that they're gonna pass it down to their sons and daughter to continue the business. So Mr. and Mrs. Duncan are deciding like they want to move down to South Florida. Hey, that's where I live at. Um, want to have a good life. Want to enjoy life, and I thought that was cool because you don't really see that so much, or you don't really hear that so much about black families passing down their their um their business down to their family. I thought that was so interesting to me to read something like that. I was like, wow. I was like, oh, I like that. You don't hear that so much. And how it was going on that they thought, they was having a regular meeting, like they didn't know what was going on with the family. And Mr. Duncans had put it in the hands of not the oldest son, but I think it's like the second son, because the first son is named Junior, and Junior didn't he didn't pass the main lead, the leader, to take over Junior, but it was this, I think, believe the second son that they birthed into the world, called his name is Orlando.